Hey everybody, it's Doug here. As you can see, we're getting ready to start another playthrough, this time of a game called Perditions Mouth Abyssal Rift. Where we are fantasy heroes in a steampunkish type of world, dealing with this cult and these insectoid demons that we have to defeat, and we're going to go on these missions and quests. It's a dungeon crawler. It's got some cool characters. We're going to talk about those. It's got some cool monsters, some cultists, creatures. It's really neat stuff. I'm going to not go over setup, but I'm going to direct you to a couple of things. So first, actually, I'm going to direct you to one thing, to learn the rules if you like. My good buddy on YouTube, Paul Catweasel, has done a how to play video. So if you go to Catweasel on YouTube, and I'll list it in the show notes as well, you can find a how to play. We're not going to do the how to play here, even though I'm going to go over some of the basics of setup. You can go watch his video and see how this is set up, because he did an official how to play video for the publishers. So that is where you're going to go to see that. So by all means, check that out. Now let's talk about the game itself. It's a game by, let's see, what's the, hold on. Oh man, see, I was ill prepared. I should have been ready to have this conversation, but I wasn't. I had the book in front of me, but it was to the wrong page. Anyway, I will list everybody that's important on this. You'll see it on the screen appear. But let's get going. I'm also, oh by the way, also expect a massive channel update very, very soon from me. There's a lot of stuff going on, very cool things. I think you'll really enjoy it. The channel is about to expand. So this is the board here. You can see that my three hero characters are right here, getting ready to go in the dungeon there at the entrance. This scenario is set up. We're going to read the scenario. We're going to talk about our characters, and we're going to play the game. So let's talk about our first character. That's going to be Bastion. And you can see Bastion on the screen here. Now, you notice there's a thing that says Distraught. It's for the hard level. We're not going to play that. We're not going to play anything hard. I haven't played it before. But just going across the top, you can see his symbol, what type of class he is. He's a warrior. He does melee. If you go over to the right, you see his max hand size is 6. His starting hand limit is 4. He's got an ability called Cleave. That little symbol with the Illuminati-like symbol is special abilities. It says, make a special attack. If you hit, you may attack an enemy that you have not hit with this ability, repeating until you attack each enemy in range once, or until an attack fails. Okay, each attack after the first takes a cumulative -2 to hit penalty, +0 for the first, -2 for the second, -4 for the third, and so on. Okay, that's his special ability. You see he's got one active slot for treasure, one active backpack slot. Not really going to matter in this scenario. This is the introductory scenario called the Side Entrance 1A. Going across the other part, you also see some of his abilities. So you see his... Anyway, I want to make sure I use the right terminologies, just so I don't tell you something, you go, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. First one is action points, and I was right. They are just called action points. There's nothing special about them. So you see that he starts with... The middle circle is where his hit points start. So, and that's also your abilities. As you lose health, which you cannot regain very easily in this game, your abilities will decline. So at first he's going to have 6 action points. The second one is range. He's only range 1. He's just a fighter. Over on the other side, you have the fist. That's his combat ability, and then his defense ability. So, yeah, we're going to do some serious damage and attacking and fighting with him. That is going to be Bastion. Next up, we have Nifl. Nifl is, it says he's a warrior in the game, but what he really is a ranged, roguish type character. Again, we're going to ignore Glass Eye. He's got a hand limit of, starting hand of 5, hand limit of 7. He's got the ability of Catnap. If you do not play any other special ability this turn, you may take a rest action. Rest actions allow us to do some things, but not get rid of wounds and stuff like that. There's some things that like recover our cards, etc. You can see he's got 8. He's only got 3 hit points. He's not a very sturdy guy, but he's got 8 actions. He's got a range of 1 to 4. He's got a combat of 2 and a defense of 2. That is pretty good. He's going to get us started too. He's got our range guy. And then we have our spellcaster. She's an elf. Elisa, she's a magus. Magus, whatever you want to call them. I call them Magus. She has a starting at a 5, a max limit of 7. Again, we're not using the Diva portion. She can blink. She can move up to 2 squares. You may move diagonally with this. You can also enhance this with cards, abilities. You can see she's got 5 actions. She's got a range of 1 to 6. Again, only 3 hit points. 0 combat ability. She is a terrible fighter, and 2 defense. So we want to keep her at range and fighting. Now, I'm going to go over their cards as we play. I'm not going to worry about those things. But we do have a couple things that I just want to cover very quickly. You see the wheel here. The wheel is how we're going to take our turns. This is called the Watchstone. And basically, you see that we have our tokens on here. This is Bastion, or Nifl's token right there on the first spot. This is the spot that you start on. It's the one with this cleft in it right here. Now, how you take your turns is you spend your actions to go on the wheel where you want to go. Now, you have to skip over the ones that have, like, I cannot take this one, but because there's no other space there, I get to skip over for free, so it doesn't cost me a point. But if I skip this one, it costs me an action point. Well, the first turn, we all have to move, so there's going to be some skipping of stuff. So basically, if you think of it this way, when Nifl takes his turn, he can't go here even though there's a move icon because there's no more spaces. He can't go here because there's no movement, so he's going to have to jump to sprint, and we'll talk about that as we go. So that would cost him 1, 2 action points to get there. And then he's got more the rest of his action points to actually do his movement and whatever else he chooses to do, play cards, etc. So that, now he can't attack or anything with this because it basically gives him a movement plus what a response card, which could potentially, most likely, add to his movement. This gives him a defense. This is attack. He can move and attack. So you get the idea. This is to keep players from doing the same things over and over again. Similarly to the players, the bosses also have a wheel, or the monsters rather. And you can see that here, and there's a red gem and a green gem. So we're going to draw a response card, as it's going to move the red gem. Right now our threat is at 1, so that'll come into play later. That has to do with spawns. And let's say that the response card is a 2. We would end up moving that to here, and we're going to take each action along the way until it catches up to this gem here. So that's the way that works. It could lend to some really crazy turns, but the monsters in this are not very tough at this point. Mainly, like what you're going to see on the board for the first couple of turns are acolytes and guards. You can see that they have 2 movement, 3 movement. They stay at a range of 3 because they're ranged guys. So they will actually back away. Even though they will move towards the exit, they don't actually do anything. They can defend themselves, but they don't attack. They're trying to get out to to raise the threat and raise the alarm in the place. You'll see how that works in the game, but they're going to run toward that icon, that token. You see that they have a range of 1. They have 1 health, 1 hit, and 1 defense, and they're kind of a special unit. These guys strike, and they do. I think that's poison, if I'm not mistaken. There's a whole symbol chart there. I don't think it's poison, actually. It's fatigue. They actually cause fatigue. It's like a poison-like thing because they're using a blowgun to hit you with when they attack us. And we'll see how that goes during the game. But that's kind of the basic setup and how we're going to play. So each character is going to have 5, or a set of cards. So in this case, like Bastion's going to start with 4. This is his deck here, for example. So we'll just get his 4 cards out and see what they are. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to have Dream of Foes Fallen. You can see that that's a rest action, so that's not going to be very helpful, but it allows them to gain a health back, and you can play only during a rest action. Okay, now rest action is on the touchstone, as you can see right here. This one uses all the abilities. He can use it on any ability. It gives him adds 1 to whatever he's doing, and allows him to draw a card, one of these cards. Very effective. Ambidextrous does the same thing, and then on Honed Reflexes. So these cards are really low, not very good cards, but that's his starting hand. And so just to give you an idea how those work, when we are taking our actions, we take an attack action, for example, we're going to add this to it if we play this card, that number to it. Pretty simple. And then we got Elisa's hand. She has some really good abilities. So they all do, but we just didn't happen to draw them that turn on Bastion's. Draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what she gets. Barbican of Fire, basically you can use it on anything. It adds 4. And there's some flavor text on these as well that you can read. She got Minor Illusion. Draw a response card. If it has a a spawn symbol, you gain a fatigue and your turn ends. Otherwise, gain 3 actions and you draw a card. Okay, Torrent of Fire. Cast a flaming spell, you lose 1 health. Make an area attack with strength +4 against figures in a 6-inch cone. That's pretty good. The attack and this attack ends. This attack heroes enemies, so anybody that's in the way. One of her best abilities is Elvish Dagger, because if she does any damage with it, it returns to her hand. She can continue to use it over and over again, and focus just gives her 2 points. You get the idea of how those work. And then last but not least, we got Niffles cards. So we'll just draw those out, and then we'll read the. We'll look at the scenario too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had shuffled these before. I'm just shuffling them on camera so you can see it. Okay, Diligence. All abilities gives him 3. Duck and Roll. Being well prepared. This is a response card. That means he can use it as a reaction. Being well prepared pays off. You gain shields +2 until the beginning of your next turn and draw a card. Sleight of Hand gives you 4 on a movement or special ability. This can be used on all of them. Gives you 2+ and a response card. So that could be good or bad as a Poison Dagger. Could be used to attack, could be used to move, though it can be used for anything. This is special ability and move 2. It's a Thieves' Tools, gives you a 2. So that is his hand to start with, and that's the character's hand. So let's take a look now at the mission itself. All right, side entrance. This is going to be our standard. We're playing it on standard level. We're not trying to be extra crazy or play it on hard or anything like that. But the story is, the cult's underground temple had a side entrance, but finding it was no simple task. For days, the group of adventurers hiked, backtracked, and went in circles as they tried to follow this torn map fragment. The bug bites and blisters finally paid off when they stumbled out of the swamp and into the hills beyond, spotting the ancient sacrificial mound. Niffles' nose bristled at the smell of death as they entered the clearing. A dark entrance in the hillside beckoned them as it repelled their very senses. Or their every senses, really. Okay. The low, narrow tunnel forced them to crawl, single file, through stone that looked more torn than carved by men. Elisa took up the rear as usual, and was secretly glad that the others' passage rubbed some of the slime off the walls in front of her. After what seemed like ages, I'm going to say it's not this character. I'm going to say it's Bastion. Bastion's keen eye detected a dim light at its end. Just then he felt a low rumble in the stone. Recognizing the groaning sound, he cried out in warning. Elisa and Nifil scrambled quickly backwards as the rocks pelted them from above. After the earth stopped moving around them... Oh wait, that's why I said Lisa and Nishil, yeah, because they didn't make it through in the story. After the earth stopped moving around them, Elisa yelled through the ton of roughly piled stones separating them from the others. Fear not, it will take but a few hours for me to prepare a teleportation ritual. Take care, and we will be reunited soon enough. The two began their long backwards crawl towards the tunnel entrance, while the rest of the group continued warily towards the unsure light. Note that this scenario is designed as a way to introduce the basic mechanics. That's what we're going to do for new players. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of it, but we'll talk about the other side of the card here. This side, this is our setup. You can see that we have some rule reminders. Rubble floors are scattered obstacles which may make movement trickier. Moving into rubble costs 3 action points. So that's the basic deal right there. Okay, it's special terrain. All doors are unlocked because we're not going to play on hard, so they only take 1 action to open. If we were playing with the hard rules, there'd be another guard and the doors would be locked. This is the setup. This is where the monsters and everything all went. I've already done all that. And this is the spawns. You see primary, secondary, and reserve spawn. And I'll show you that right now. Primary, secondary, and reserve spawn right here. So in the primary spawn we have 2 acolytes, 2 guards, and 2 summoners. These guys are pretty bad. In here we got just 2 acolytes. This is the reserve, or the secondary spawn. 2 summoners, and then the reserve we got 2 more acolytes. And 2 of these critters, which are called bone worms. Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? Yeah, so we're going to see those come out as we play, and we're going to get started in just a few minutes. So that really is it for setup. I think the best way to deal with the rest of this is just to start to play the game. So let's get to it and have some fun. Okay, guys, wanted to break real quick before we get into the gameplay. I want to edit in this little piece right here and talk to you about Perditions Mouth Abyssal Rift, coming again in October 2017 to a second print run on Kickstarter. I don't know yet the details on it, but one of the reasons I was asked to do a new video on it is because it's about to relaunch. And this game's right up my alley. It's a dungeon crawler. It's got some really neat mechanics. Can't wait to introduce some of these things to my friends. I did not have a copy of it before, so it's nice to have a copy of it now to play. And you know, we're playing this we're going to play this introductory scenario. So anyway, one of the reasons I'm playing it, I want you to make you aware, is that it will be coming to Kickstarter again in October. Now, when it does come, I will put something out for that purpose, but it will be coming again. So you will be able to kickstart this game with the second printing, second edition, whatever they're going to call it. We'll see. And you'll be able to take advantage of the opportunity to get a hold of this really neat game. It's got a really neat theme to it with the steampunkish thing and the insect cult. No, it's really cool. So I think if you like dungeon crawlers, you'll definitely like this one. Anyway, thanks. I just want to interject that. Let's continue on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do on turn order, and it is on the very back of the book, if you need to a refresher always, it says round summary. We're going to do the hero phase first. We're going to gain our action points. We're going to move our hero pegs on the Stone of Destiny and play our cards and abilities. That's what we're going to do. So let's get to that. Now, I have chosen Niflheim to enter first because I just want to do it differently than everybody else. So he has to first move his token, and he can't move it here, right? We already discussed that. He doesn't want to move it here because he has to move into the entrance. So he's going to move it here. I'm going to plug that in right there. Then that's going to take 2 of his action points. Now, he currently has 8 of them, so that puts him down to 6 before he's moved in the building. But that gets him, that means he appears right here at the beginning of the dungeon right there at the entrance. See, it's all broken up right here. We came in at this broken up area of the tunnel. And we're going to head in. So now that we do that, we're going to get to draw a response card as well to add to his movement points. Here's the response deck. It is comprised of standard and I think common, or the other one, common and standard cards. Yeah. So we're going to shuffle that up. We're going to draw a card. It's a +2. So that means he's going to get 2 extra actions. So he's back up to his 8. And so let's start moving him. Now I don't have to play the cards yet. I can wait. And I think I will. I'll just start moving. Now we cannot move diagonally. You saw that when I was reading Elise's ability of Blink, she can use that to move diagonally, but he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets him into the doorway. Right now, wait. Do I have to play cards? This is where I got to make sure I can play the cards. Yeah, we have to play the hero cards. Yeah, play cards and abilities. No, we're doing all right. Okay, I think we're okay. Anyway, I do want him to move a little further. So I do think we're going to use these Thieves tools. We're going to burn that card. I'm going to spend it for him. And that's, I can use it on movement or special ability. So he's going to use it on movement, and he's just simply going to go to here. Now, why did I pick there? Well, because here, these guys, now you can track line of sight, it's diagonal. So he's right here, so he cannot see. It's got to go through, like he cannot see there. It's blocked, and you can use a card to figure that out. But you got to go from center of the square to center of the square. So he can do that, but he can't do that. So if he stops there, he is in a good place. Same thing with this guy. He cannot, he's running into a wall right there. So that is a good place to halt. Now, he is not going to attack. He's just simply going to move because he's out of movement. So that is basically Nifl's entire turn. Okay, guys, next up we have Elisa. Now, basically you do take all of the characters' turns before you take the enemy's turns. And so that's what we're doing right now. We are going to take her turn. Now she is on this spot, this next spot over from the beginning. Again, there's 2 blank spots here, but it doesn't have a move, so she has to pass that up. And she can go to here, which is, you know, I don't know if I want her to do that, actually. She might, because that's going to cost her 1, 2, 3 to 4. We'd have to move 4 to get her to be able to move and attack. I'm wondering if I switch these 2. I think that might be the way to go. I was going to have Elisa go last. I don't know if it's fair or cheating to do that or not, but since we haven't started him yet, I think I'm going to start with go next with Bastion then, because then he will move here. We will draw a response card for him because he's not going to be able to get far enough to attack. It's a +2 again, which is the majority of the cards in the deck. And then we'll move him. He's starting with, well, let's look at cards first Do we want to play any of his cards? I think we will. Yeah, I think we could do this battle tactics for 3, and he can go 1 because he only has 6 actions. So it took us 1, 2 for him to be able to. No, it took us 1 actually for him to be able to sprint. Yeah, no, it took 2. 2 points for him to be able to do this. So he's at 6, so he's at 4. That'll allow him to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to here, but we need to get him farther than that. So I think 3 is going to be enough, though. Yeah, I think so. So we're going to do this. We're going to play Battle Tactics for 3 for him. And he is going to move. Yeah, he's going to move. All right, well, let's do that then and play that card. We're going to discard that card, and he's going to go. So he'll have a total of 6, 7, 8, 9 total actions. It's going to cost him 2 to set up to be able to move on the wheel. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still not enough. I need 1 more. So 9. He's got 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't want him there. Okay, we're going to have to try and get a 4. Let me see if he's got a card in his hand that has a 4 in it. Let's see. He's got Battle Tactics was his biggest one with a 3. That's rough. Well, I could play 2 of them. Let me think about that for just a second. We're not going to do any cards. Here's what he's going to do. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and stop right there. That'll end at that for him. So he didn't spend any of the cards in his hand. Okay, that's going to end his turn. Now we got to go to Niffle. Now to Elisa. She's got a big move she's got to make. Okay, here's Elisa. Now these are both taken up, so this is free. It's going to move here, then to here for 2. Now there she's going to get to be able to move and attack. That's pretty awesome. So first off, she has 5 total movement actions. She's down to 3. That's not great, but we are going to play a card. We're going to play her Barbican of Fire, which gives her 4 movement points. That's going to allow her to, let's see if we can get everything in the camera. We can. That's awesome. 1, she's got 3 movement points left. So 1, 2, 3, and now she's got 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That ends up exactly where we want her to be. Now, remember, she has a range of 1 to 6, so she's going to target this guy before he turns around and runs for the door. Hopefully she can kill him with what she's going to do, which is she's going to throw her Elvish Dagger and play Focus. So she's going to play quite a few cards this turn. I don't know how good that is. But I think she's going to do those 2 cards, so we're going to put them out here. Now remember, why am I doing that? Well, because when this guy gets attacked, he's got 1 defense and only 1 hit point. So I only need to do 1 point of damage. However, he's going to get to draw a response card. Now the average response cards are 2, which would give him a 3, which means it would bounce if we don't add some extra oomph to it, which is why we're playing the Focus. This is going to be her attack, the dagger, and she's playing the Focus as well. So let's do that. She throws the dagger at him. Let's draw the response card. Well, it was a +1, so he would have died anyway, but we did do that. And we killed this Acolyte, which means he goes here in the dead pile. So we got rid of 1 of the guys, but we still have the guards and all that left to go, so let's see what happens next. Elisa is down to 2 cards in her hand, so that's going to be rough if she needs to react to something. We'll see. So anyway, we're going to go. Now that was all the heroes. We've done everything for the hero phase. So now we're going to go to the enemy phase. Now how that works is we're going to go to this rondel here. We're going to draw a response card from the deck, and we're going to move this red gem that many spaces. Hopefully it's a 1. That would be awesome. No, but it's a 2. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. We're going to move this 1, 2, which means they're going to move to that, and we're going to go. All the guys would attack. However, they're not going to move and attack, just attack. So again, nobody is within range. Everything's blocked by the wall. So, and this door's closed, so they can't attack anyone. That's going to end that, and then we're going to move this here and spawn. Now, currently the threat level is 1. You can't really see that very well there, but right on that little dial there it says 1. and that's where it starts in this scenario, which means we're going to spawn one enemy out of the primary spawn phase. Now you always get to spawn the weakest of the enemies, which means we're going to spawn one of these acolytes. Now there's some rules with that. The acolytes always spawn next to a trap door and in a legal space. So he can't spawn here because that's off the map, but he can spawn here, 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 or here. And I think what we'll do is we'll put him right back here. That's the farthest away. In case he gets to move again and we haven't killed him yet, then we'll get to do that. But we're probably going to attack him with the Elvish Dagger, because I forgot. That gets to go back into our hand. Does not get discarded. And that is going to be the end of the enemy round. So now that all of the enemies have carried out their actions and we've completed the Watchstone for the enemies, we can move on to our next turn, which we will do in the next video. So we're going to end it right there. Really watching right now because I'm trying not to make mistakes. So hope you liked it. It's a really good dungeon crawler. I like the concepts of it. I love the Watchstones. That's a really interesting mechanic. And I also, guys, one thing you need to know, so I totally forgot to do, but when you finish your turn, when you complete your turn, you turn these in to reflect that you have completed your actions. And you don't have to take them, now that she's in the lead, I don't have to take her turn. I can take them in any order I want, so it's okay. And so what we would do at the end of the last thing we do in the round is turn these back out so that the players can take their turns again when we start. And we can start in any order we want. So we'll see where we go. But our mission is really simple. We just need to get down these stairs. So it's not too bad, actually. That's really about it, guys. So let's cut there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will talk to you soon. Don't forget, this is going to have a re-release, not a re-release, really a second printing with some additions, I'm sure, on Kickstarter. And, you know, I love my dungeon crawlers. This is definitely one of those. So enjoy it, and we'll see how this little scenario goes. If it goes quickly enough, I may play the second one. We'll see. Now, one thing's... yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how we play this out and end it up there. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you next time.